that even in the city, I can find this, like, this is my quiet. And I've learned that I know a lot more about plants than I realize because I've taken the chances to, when I see people wandering, oh, if I overhear them. So it's been a real pleasure, like, giving a 14-year-old his first mulberry, the look on his face, and my name is, oh my God, I live right over there. Thank you so much for that.
The Springridge Commons is a demonstration food commons located on public land in the heart of one of Victoria's most diverse communities, Fernwood. The common is a short 15-minute walk from downtown Victoria and about 100 meters from the Fernwood village. In recent history, the quarter-acre lot was home to one of Victoria's first schoolhouses. Later, it was a seldom-used car park. Now, it is a thriving urban food forest composed of over 100 species of edible, medicinal, fiber, and fodder plants. Originally designed by local permaculturalist Jeff Johnson and a ragtag team of urban back-to-the-landers, the Springridge Common was created from an unusual blend of wisdoms. The designers connected ecological principles from local ecosystems, design principles from the study of permaculture, community input from neighbors and gardeners, and years of careful observation of the site to create a design for the space. The original intention was rather broad. The hope was to create a space that would teach people something about permaculture principles, allow people to harvest herbs and fruits locally, create an open public space for gathering and relaxing, and increase regional diversity and sustainability. To put it simply, this site was very obviously and intentionally designed, and it was created with the experience of the end users in mind, what designers sometimes call from the inside out. But it was a living design, one that was always intended to shift and change to meet local, ecological, social, and physical needs. It is very true to say that the design continues to evolve as local realities shift. While it was designed from the inside out with the end user's experience in mind, Springridge was also designed with a degree of outside-in thinking, with permaculture design and the end product of food provision very much at the fore.
There's so many walks of life coming through here, and I think a big learning is how to interact and communicate well together, because I've been experiencing some aggression here in the last little while, and I came to realize it's because the gentleman doesn't know how to communicate. So I think a lot of it is because you get the street people, addicts, children, mothers, students coming through, hippies, smokers. It's a space for everyone, and I'd like to see people learn that better.
The Springridge Commons is an interesting example of the power and potential of designed learning environments. As a learning space, Springridge was created with the intention of teaching people about the possibilities and potential of urban food production. However, its existence at the crossroads of several diverse community groups has created it as much more than this. Springridge has become a community hub where the rich interact with the poor, the homeless with the housed, the yuppie with the hippie, and the young family with the mentally ill. The power of this site as a learning environment stems from the fact that on this site, when picking plums from the same tree, all these diverse people stand or climb on level ground. In order for true learning to take place, people must feel safe. They must have their needs met and be comfortable enough to open themselves to one another. At Springridge, the lack of straight lines or formal or familiar structures creates a sense of ease and naturalness. People at the site seem less inclined to take on structured social roles and become simply human. After spending several hours on site, I noticed that everyone who passed through felt no inhibition in smiling and saying hello to me. Even this small gesture is significant when considered against a long stroll through downtown just a few hours earlier, where I passed hundreds of people and received only a few smiles and no hellos. In speaking with others who consider the Commons their second or sometimes even first home, I have found that some deep learnings take place between social and cultural groups at Springridge. Mediated by a common interest in some edible fruit or the soothing calm of the light passing through the trees, people often come to learn more about each other and themselves. All of a sudden, a new mother is able to speak on equal terms with a young man who is struggling with addictions. A young anarchist is able to communicate clearly and to be heard by a retired businessman. The environment of this Springridge Common allows people from an astounding diversity of backgrounds to feel at ease and to communicate both between themselves and with all the other more than humans that exist on the site. Through this shared comfort, people learn about food, about plants, and more importantly, about each other and themselves.
Number one thing I've learned is I am connected to everything, not just people. That everything here communicates if I take the chance to sit down and still my mind and spend time with the plants.
Within the environment of the common, there are several different mediums which are designed as teachers. Recently installed signage helps people to navigate the many species of plants on site and learn more about each species. The plants themselves are also important mediums through which learning, development, and nourishment all happen. Through interacting with these mediums in the environment of the commons, people create, develop, and connect meanings. Perhaps it is simple as the knowledge that when a fig droops, that means it's ripe. These meanings advise and inform each individual's identity, perhaps as someone who likes fresh figs. While it was originally designed to help visitors identify more with the importance of local food production and connect to the meaning of local plants, Springridge has blossomed as a learning grounds because of its social context. The diversity of people who access and use the site, and who feel comfortable in each other's company, creates it as a rich learning environment mediated by the original design intention around local food. In this case, the original design of the learning space has blossomed into an even richer fabric which connects communities and builds understandings between people. The kinds of learnings that now happen in this space are incredibly diverse, indeed as diverse as the knowledge of all the people who use it. Certainly the site continues to teach its visitors about the potential of urban food production. But perhaps even more importantly, the site helps people to construct meanings and identities within a rich and diverse social context. They feel comfortable enough with unfamiliar others while on site to welcome these people into their own construction of self, creating this space for a much more compassionate and accepting community.
An issue that people are having is, say, people using drugs here or litter. We just recently got the garbage cans in, put a drop box. I think people can learn about community, caring for each other through here.
While learning environments are often designed with conscious intent to help people develop meaning and self-identity, the hidden social context of learning environments are often overlooked. By creating open spaces where a broad diversity of people can communicate on common ground, the power of the learning that happens on site is amplified. No longer is it just those who belong to the social context of the space that are able to effectively learn. The power of the Springridge Commons is that it is different enough to ensure that no one social or cultural group can claim it as their own, and so everyone who enters the site does so on equal terms in an engaging and unfamiliar learning environment. By establishing an environment with mediums of learning that do not easily connect to any social constructions, the Springridge Common helps people to construct new meanings and identities in true community without fabricated social roles or hierarchies.